I knew something was terribly wrong the moment Naomi touched my forearm instead of my usual spot on the shoulder. It was 5:30 a.m. outside. It was still dark. This was far too early for Fear to be gentle. "Do not check your mobile device today," she instructed. Her voice was too careful, unnaturally so. "Just hand it to me." I did not move. I did not react. I did not ask why. I simply withdrew my hand. Silence stretched between us, heavy and charged. Her complexion paled rapidly, as if a drain had been pulled. She swallowed hard, leaned closer, and whispered it like a hidden confession she did not want the room to overhear. "You are going to despise me by 12 o'clock this afternoon." That was the exact moment the final boundary was crossed. Not the harsh words, but the absolute certainty behind them. I slid out of the bed without a further sound. I did not unlock my phone yet. I did not need to. Whatever action she had taken was already set in motion, already heading directly toward me. I could sense it fully. Our residence felt overly curated that morning. Every room seemed too immaculate, every surface too deliberately placed like a crime scene, meticulously cleaned before authorities could arrive. She trailed me quietly, watching me prepare my morning beverage, watching me tie my footwear, smiling at awkward moments. I noted every small detail. Her phone remained permanently in her grip. I saw the way she flinched whenever a notification sounded, the way she avoided any mirror. We had been united for 8 years, long enough for me to recognize guilt when it was disguised with expensive perfume. By 8 a.m., she departed for her workplace without offering a farewell kiss. By 9, I was completely alone with the soft operation of the refrigerator and the deliberate ticking of the wall clock in our home in Miami, Florida. I settled at the table and finally accessed my phone. Nothing. That is when I grasped the cold planning of her scheme. This was not a moment of impulsive passion. She had strictly scheduled it. Noon arrived without any fanfare. My phone did not simply vibrate. It effectively detonated. 147 incoming messages arrived at the exact same moment, the same minute. A perfectly coordinated digital release, the very first message sat at the top like a freshly sharpened blade held against my throat. I had no idea she was married. I did not scroll right away. I inhaled, exhaled once, twice, then I began reading. Screenshots, voice recordings, dates, private photos I had never seen before. Her distinct laugh, her hands, her body positioned toward men who were not me, former colleagues, friends, even one of my close associates. She had not only betrayed me, she had methodically collected an audience. By the 10th message, I finally understood her full intent. She had provided all of them the identical narrative that I was distant, cold, and emotionally controlling, that she felt trapped, that I would never find out. And now, at precisely noon, she had allowed them all to know the truth simultaneously. She craved chaos. She wanted me to be completely humiliated. She desired the whole structure of our life to collapse entirely on my reputation in public. I secured the phone. Something internal went completely quiet. That was the instant the marriage truly ceased. Not with furious yelling, not with inevitable tears, but with absolute cold clarity. I did not confront her. I did not return any phone calls. I became silent. People often mistake silence for weakness. They confuse still water with shallowness. They are profoundly incorrect. I spent the entire afternoon systematically mapping everything: accounts, business assets, network access points, conversations, archived files I had kept without realizing their importance. Patterns always become clear when emotions are removed from the equation. She had been careless, overconfident. She severely underestimated how much of our combined life operated through technological structures that I personally maintained. Cloud storage, shared online calendars, legal paperwork. She had never bothered to comprehend. By early evening, I knew exactly how this entire situation would conclude. I only required extreme patience. She returned to the house expecting an explosion of rage. Instead, she encountered calm. I prepared our supper, set the table, asked politely about her day. Her hands were noticeably trembling when she reached for her glass. "You read them," she stated weakly. "Yes." She waited for the anticipated eruption, the desperate accusations, the pleading. None came. That complete lack of reaction unnerved her far more than any rage ever could. "I never intended to truly wound you," she whispered softly. I offered a slight smile that held no warmth. "I know," I replied. "You intended to completely erase me." That night she slept soundly for the first time in weeks. I did not sleep at all. The following morning, my carefully crafted plan began to move. I did not block her. I did not publicly disgrace her. I did not issue warnings to anyone. I simply removed things. Her access privileges to crucial accounts silently vanished. Her name was quietly removed from professional projects. She had falsely claimed credit for shared digital devices ceased synchronizing. I allowed her to discover each incremental loss naturally. Confusion surfaced first, then profound frustration, then creeping dread. By the third day, her phone began ringing constantly. By the fifth day, it would not stop ringing. The men who had felt so brazen in their secrecy panicked instantly in the open daylight. Their elaborate stories quickly unraveled. Screenshots mysteriously resurfaced. Employers began asking difficult questions. Spouses demanded answers. I remained completely hidden. Power never announces itself. It merely observes and acts. She finally confronted me a week later, her eyes swollen and red, her voice somehow much smaller. "What precisely did you do?" she demanded. I did not answer immediately. I slowly poured myself a drink. I let the silence forcefully remind her who was in complete control of the moment. I simply corrected the distorted narrative I finally stated. She collapsed into a nearby chair. "They are blaming everything on me." I simply nodded. That tends to be the outcome when the absolute truth arrives all at once. Tears came then, real tears reflecting deep regret, layered with genuine terror. "You are deliberately destroying my entire life." I met her eyes. My gaze was calm and completely steady. "No," I told her. "I am just no longer choosing to protect it." The final confrontation occurred 1 month later, in a quiet, neutral office space, with soft lighting and a significant stack of paperwork between us. She looked entirely defeated, not dramatic, not angry, just empty. I deliberately slid the separation documents across the desk. They were fair, clean, and precise. "You planned the revelation for noon," I said. "I planned the entire rest of the sequence." She offered no protest. She could not. As she signed the papers, her hand was trembling exactly as it had that first dark morning. "I never imagined you were capable of this," she mumbled. I leaned back slightly. "You never imagined I would actually see you clearly," I replied. Now, when I reflect on that particular morning, the pale, strained face, the whispered warning, I almost smile. She mistakenly tried to control the timing. She completely forgot who truly understood the severe consequences of their actions. Respect is not merely requested, it must be strictly enforced. And by the time those 140 messages reached me, I was already long gone.